The swirling wind ruffled his coat as the ranger headed out from the gates of the town. He'd been called upon by the townspeople, who were in grave trouble and in need of his help. They had told him of a wicked creature from the nearby forest that would creep into their town during the winter. It would sneak into their houses through windows and doors while they were fast asleep and use its evil powers to steal away all of their good feelings. When they would awake the next morning, they would feel terribly ill. Their throats would be sore, their noses would run, and all of the colour would have disappeared from their rosy cheeks. Many would feel so poorly they couldn't even get out of their beds. The ranger was known as the most brave and fearless hunter of them all. No beast was clever or strong enough to have ever escaped one of his legendary traps. He had sat and listened quietly to their story before pulling on his big white coat and heading out deep into the forest. His backpack rustled as he trudged through the snow, bulging and full of wonderfully amazing things to help him bring down the despicable monster. He reached the heart of the forest, where it was cold and very dark, with many strange sounds that echoed round him. But he showed no fear as he heaved his bag from his back and stood it on the ground. He was going to set his most magnificent trap yet, one that he had prepared especially for the beast. He tinkered long into the night, making sure that everything was just perfect before he moved on to the next and most dangerous part of his plan. With soft footsteps, the ranger made his way further into the forest before stumbling upon a clearing. And there the creature was, crawling about in the snow. It was large, with icy blue fur and a long nose that sniffed the air, trying to find more good feelings to steal. The ranger took a deep breath and jumped out from where he was hiding. "Here I am," he shouted, "and you will never catch me, for I'm far too fast for you." The beast swung round and stared at the ranger. It gave a ferocious roar that sent a cloud of frosty mist toward him. But he was already running as fast as his legs would carry him. Through the forest he ducked beneath branches and leapt over rocks. The creature gave chase, roaring and screeching, smashing branches and tearing through the snow as it closed in on the ranger. It reached out with its furry arms, the tip of its claws almost touching the ranger's coat collar. Then all of a sudden there was a snap, and the ranger's trap sprung into action. Ropes whipped across the trees, and from beneath the snow came a spectacular blue and white cloth that pulled up around the monster like a sack and swung skyward, high into the trees. The creature struggled and clawed, but the ranger's trap was far too great to be broken. Calmly, the ranger collected his bag and slung it over his shoulder. He gave one last look at the silent, swinging trap high above his head. Then, pulling up his collar, he headed back towards the town to let the people know they were safe once again. The end to 99.9% of cold and flu viruses. Kleenex Anti-Viral.